ever been running on a treadmill at the gym and turned on the closed captioning on the television so you can watch your favorite show without blasting the volume and interrupting those around you? Have you ever chosen to push your child's stroller up the ramp instead of carrying it up the stairs? If you have, then you have enjoyed the convenience of universal design. In both instances, all people had equal opportunity to enjoy their workout or make strolling a child easier. Universal design is not only used in physical environments, but also in educational environments. Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, is a set of principles for curriculum development that give all individuals equal opportunities to learn. UDL could be compared to a blueprint of a house. It is the plan for creating instructional goals, methods, materials, and assessments that work for all students. It involves flexible methods that accommodate the learner's needs. Universal Design for Learning involves 3 neural networks of the brain: recognition, strategic, and affective. These are the what, how, and why of learning. Just as each fingerprint is different, so is every child. Therefore, it is important to realize the differences among each network of the brain so teachers can offer the support needed for each child. The recognition network is located in the back of the brain. This part of the brain is the what of learning. It involves the sensory organs: eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Dr. David Rose describes this part of the brain works by axons racing to the cortex of the brain, which analyzes the patterns that are entering through your sensory organs. Your brain then recognizes the patterns. Although this process seems simple, it takes the entire back portion of your brain to do this. The strategic network of the brain is located in the front. This part of the brain is the how of learning. It determines how we organize and plan. The strategic network sends axons in the brain to muscles to allow you to move. It also plans your actions. Cooking, running, and driving a car are all actions that would be involved with the strategic network. In education, planning a lesson, completing a project, solving a math problem, and knowing how to answer a question are skills that are controlled by this network. The affective network of the brain is located in the center of the brain. This part of the brain is the why of learning. It allows us to engage in tasks and influences our motivation to learn. The affective network is responsible for gaining preferences, interests, and emotions. Its main job is to identify what's important to this brain network, what should be focused on, and what's the kind of action that's the most important to take. Universal Design for Learning has 3 principles that are essential to the purpose: multiple means of representation, multiple means of action and expression, and multiple means of engagement. These flexible networks are needed as a result that every brain is different and unique. The first principle, multiple means of representation, supports the recognition network. There are 3 guidelines to this principle. The first is to provide options for perception. If information that is presented is not presented in a way that is understandable to the audience, it is pointless. Information should be given visually, auditory, and kinesthetically to meet the different sensory modalities. The information must be accommodating to the learner's needs. For example, print can be enlarged for those students who are visually impaired. The second guideline is to provide options for language and symbols. As a result that not every student knows the exact same vocabulary, including graphs to illustrate the definitions of vocabulary, is necessary to ensure all students are being exposed to it. The same is true for symbols. Therefore, using several options of language and symbols is necessary. The third guideline for this principle is to provide options for comprehension. Designing and presenting information in a way that activates prior knowledge and connects relationships is important for comprehension. The second principle, multiple means of action and expression, support the strategic network. The guidelines for this principle include providing options for physical action, providing options for expressive skills and fluency, and providing options for executive functions. Students need options for being physically involved. The camera mouse is an example of allowing students to be physically involved. Students are able to control the computer mouse with their heads instead of their hands. Also, teachers should provide ways for students to be involved by hand, voice, joystick, keyboard, and etc. It is important to allow students several forms of expression. Examples would be text, speech, illustrations, film, multimedia, music, etc. Teachers should also give options that guide goal setting, support planning and strategy development, facilitate managing information and resources, and enhance capacity for monitoring progress. The third principle, multiple means of engagement, supports the effective network of the brain. The guidelines for this principle include providing options for recruiting interest, providing options for sustaining effort and persistence, and providing options for self-regulation. In order to meet these guidelines, students need to be offered choices in learning. The curriculum is often not decided upon by the learner. However, they can have personal input on how to meet the objective by deciding upon the technology or tools used, the design applied, the sequencing, etc. Students should also be offered the relevance and value of their learning. How does this fit into my life? With this principle, differentiation is a must. By offering choices, differentiation is more likely to happen. It is important to give students challenging projects with support for each learner. Students should also be allowed to make personal goals to self-regulate and self-reflect. Encouraging ways to do this is to allow the learners to record themselves speaking, create charts, and etc. In order to meet the needs of all students and give each child opportunities to learn, I believe technology must be incorporated into the curriculum. In education, one of the earliest technologies was print. We are still using print today, however, it is very limited. Dr. Rose describes it as a one-size-fits-all due to the fact that the information is presented in the same way, although all students are different. Also, printed materials are harder to acquire. For example, one must go to the local library or bookstore and purchase or check out the book. Textbooks are often very expensive as well. Technology is the best way to overcome these obstacles. By using the internet, learners can gather information the way that is best for their particular needs. Oftentimes, the material is presented through podcast, but if it is not, students can use websites to have the material read to them. 3 tools you could use to support Principle 1 is WinZoom, Readability, and Wordle. WinZoom offers flexibility of text size, image size, colors, and fonts to display information. Readability reduces visual distractions for learners, and Wordle creates word clouds that can be used as a starting point for vocabulary. There are also tools out there to support Principle 2. NoKeys Virtual Keyboard, which offers different methods of typing, is one. Camera Mouse offers controlling the mouse with your head instead of your hand. And VoiceThread has choices of expression through writing, verbal, and drawing tools. 3 tools that support Principle 3 are Book Adventures, Pacecar, and WorksheetPlace.com. Book Adventure allows students to choose from many books. Pacecar is a program that reduces irrelevant information and distractions to help students focus on the most important information. WorksheetPlace.com offers worksheets that are appropriate for goal setting. As a result that UDL offers all students opportunities to learn, the potential impact on student learning is endless. Not only will the students who need intensive help benefit, but those students who are gifted will profit. When teachers use UDL, they are differentiating instruction. Differentiated instruction focuses on whom we teach, where we teach, and how we teach. Differentiation and UDL have similar ideals and intersect with one another often. Test scores, confidence, and participation will rise among students when using UDL. UDL supports cultural, ethnic, linguistic, and academic diversity. The entire point of UDL is to meet the needs of all learners. Education is not one size fits all, just the opposite. It is evolving into a very unique experience for all learners. The 3 principles are designed to suit all learners and their various learning needs. The UDL Examples and Resources website offers many examples of tools that could be used in the classroom setting that gives opportunities for students to learn. The page is set up so that each principal's guideline checkpoints are highlighted on the right side of the screen. The user can click on each checkpoint to see many resources that support the guideline. I feel that this website can be very supportive of an elementary teacher. I am always looking for opportunities to allow my students to use technology, and it can be very difficult with the many different levels of knowledge of each child. The resources found on this site can make incorporating project-based learning much easier. The site has something for every child, every learning style, every learning preference. CAST also offers a curriculum self-check website. This website offers resources in the following areas: state standards, goals, methods, materials, assessment, curriculum content resources, lesson ideas, suggested software tools, universal design for learning, and related books and articles. I especially find the curriculum content resources section useful. Again, this resource suggests many sources that can be used to support learning in language arts, math, science, and social studies. I feel that this is another resource that I can use to make learning more interactive and engaging. UDL Solution Finder is a site that allows teachers to build a table that uses the 3 UDL principles to create solutions to the many barriers that occur in their curriculum. The Solution Finder first identifies the barriers that may exist by asking for the materials and methods, potential barriers, missed opportunities, and the network. The next step is to find the UDL solutions. Then, the user must find digital tools and resources for implementation. When all is finished, the user realizes solutions that could be useful for the learners at hand. I feel that this site is extremely useful because sometimes it walks teachers through ways to help their students by determining the barriers, as well as resources that can be used to assist learners. As teachers, it should be our goal that we challenge all of our students to learn. We do this by creating engaging lessons that make the learning experience meaningful. It is important that we use methods that assist our students in meeting the challenge. Teachers, keep in mind that there is a difference between making our students feel challenged and threatened. When students are challenged, they believe they can accomplish the goal and keep working their hardest. When students feel threatened, they shut down and discontinue trying. Universal design can be used to ensure that all students are challenged and never threatened.